Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone on the World Wide Web.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Winky Wright and KTFO Boxing is proud to present Go Talk.
No, my man Winky.
The greatest of all time.
Not kidding. Okay.
So without further ado, let the Ghost talk.
And letting the Ghost talks, where we are back. KTFO Boxing, which of course stands for you.
Got knocked the fuck out.
We've been on a slight hiatus, but the champ and I are back.
We back, baby. We back in the building. We in Vegas, fight weekend. And you know what I'm saying? We here to introduce y'all to a real OG, to my brother, my man, Jay Prince. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, we got to let y'all know, you know, Jay, everybody know who Jay is, but you know what I'm saying? To me, you know, Jay looked out for me, man, when I couldn't really get that fame in the boxing. They wouldn't give me that TV time. You know, Jay hooked it up and put me together with Roy Jones, and that allowed me to showcase my skills with HBO, and then the rest is history. So I owe a lot to this man, and like I said, he always going to be a brother, you know, to me, and just love him, and we're going to have a good show today.
Wow, yeah. I got to fall back on that one. Well said, you know, Mr. Prince. Jay from Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
H-Town?
Fifth Ward.
Fifth Ward.
Yeah.
And your CEO's favorite CEO, because you are the founder and the CEO of Rap-A-Lot Records.
True.
You're also an author. Great book, The Art and Science of Respect.
Yeah.
And you're also, which I didn't know when I met my dog, but, you know, the boxing game, you know, we got to talk about it, because you're up there on both levels. You're on another level, you know, and you're not normal, for real. So, and glory be to God before we even start any of this.
Yeah,
but
all the glory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, tell us, how does Jay Prince, the CEO of Rap-A-Lot, and we could talk about the Rap-A-Lot later. I want to focus on the boxing, man.
Yeah.
Like, how did you know and just jump into boxing and say, I'm gonna get into this sport where it's a bunch of sharks in it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, boxing always was my my first love. You know, I tell everybody I got distracted by the music game, you know, which ended up being a good distraction.
Great
But boxing, you know, was my first love. And, you know, after, I think in 99, you know, I got attacked by the feds, right? You know, from on the music side of things. And they was on me real tough trying to, you know, sink my battleship. And that's when I decided to build a recreation center in Fifth Ward, which consists of a boxing gym, you know, a full court basketball facility, you know, a place where we embrace the community and feed the homeless. You know, the kids come in after school, computer rooms and different things like that. And it was then I started sitting in the gym observing the kids. And I decided, I said, you know what, it's time for me to diversify my portfolio. And, you know, everything I wanted to try and accomplish in life, I'm a praying man. So I remember hitting my knees and asking the Lord to bless my hands where boxing was concerned. And on that next day, I reached out to Mike Tyson here in Las Vegas. And, you know, Mike accepted a meeting with me, and I came and met with Mike, a week or two later. And I tell everybody that was the beginning of my true movement, because when I went in that gym with Mike, I was somewhat mesmerized, because that's the first time I had opportunity to see him spar in person. I had been to several of his fights, but watching him spar was a different thing, you know what I mean? And I'm watching him throw that leather in that gym, and I'm like really zeroed in on him.
Yeah.
So Floyd Mayweather came in the gym, and, you know, part of my prayer was, Lord, bless me with a champion. I was real specific about my prayer.
You got to be specific with the Lord,
you know?
right? Yeah.
But Mike wasn't a champion at the time, but I was focused on Mike. And Floyd came in the gym, and he came over to me. He was like, yo, Jay, I'm Floyd Mayweather, man. You know, I know about you. I want to introduce myself. I'm like, yeah. Okay, homie. But I'm zeroing in on Mike, so I'm really not, you know, trying to be distracted too tough. And a few minutes passed, Floyd came back to me again. Like, yo, Jay, I know about, this group, I know about this here, Jay. I know, I talk kind of fast.
Right. Trying to get your attention too, though.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, homie, okay. He said, I'm gonna give you my number, Jay. You want to do something later on? I come get you or whatever. I'm like, okay. So I took his number, and afterwards we went to Mike Tyson house, and that was the opportunity that I had to explain to Mike Tyson, I want to be a part of your team. You know what I mean? And he was like, well, tell me what you bring to the table. How could you be of some help? And he got his wife on the phone at the time. I think that was a girl he was married to out of D.C.
Gotcha.
And, I explained myself. I explained to him I had a track record that he was aware of and how I was looking forward to bringing my skills to boxing. And at the end of that call, to make a long story short, I had convinced Mike and felt like I was on Mike Tyson team, because that's what he said. I want Prince to be a part of my team. So I went home a happy man that night, feeling like I'm Team Mike.
You hit the lottery.
Yeah, I'm gonna really have the opportunity to like help this brother in some ways that I felt I could help him. And the next day, I got up to call and reach out to Mike, and the phones was off.
Uh-oh.
I couldn't reach him.
Uh-oh.
And I was told Shelly Finkel had got
jumped in there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Had got.
What'd you call them?
They snakes. I ain't saying Shelly a snake. I don't want nobody trying to sue me. They snake.
There's a lot of them in boxing.
Yeah,
okay.
He's right.
Okay. All right.
So, I couldn't reach him. And I went by the gym. It was closed. So therefore, I asked a friend with me. I said, who is this guy right here that gave me this number? He said, man, that's Floyd Mayweather Jr. He's a 130-pound champion. And a red light went off in my head. I'm like, I prayed for a champion. So I called Floyd immediately. And long story short, me and Floyd done a deal like less than a week or two. I was in business with Floyd Mayweather.
So then now that brings keep track, everybody. Now you heard Mike Tyson and you heard Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
So how did
we meet?
Yes.
All right. We always got, like I say, every what they say, every good man has a good woman in the background.
There it is.
In his case, he got a good homeboy. His name Antonio Leonard. This dude is one of the craziest dudes, man. The funniest dude. Everybody know Tony. Know he's a fool, but my dude, he know how to bring people together. He might know how to make people comfortable with each other, and you know what I'm saying. And that I kind of got connected with him, and then he was telling me about Jay and them, and then it just like all clicked. I went to Houston, and when I went to Houston, man, I was amazed. Let me tell you this all rip. So we get to Houston. So it was for somebody weekend. I think somebody had something going on in Houston. So we get there. So they all on the radio. Yeah, such and such here. We got such and such here, such and such here. So I jump in the car with him. We got such and such here, such and such here. So they ain't say my name. So he's like, hold up. They ain't say Wink name. And they grab his phone. Do. Hey, man, I got Wink. He talks slow.
Right.
Yo, I got Wink here,
Soft spoken.
Yeah, Bill.
But stern.
Listen, next commercial, we got Winky Wright in the house. So then I said, yo, so then we hung out. We went and we just hung out, man. And it was just like, man, I seen the love that, everybody got from me. Not just it's everybody, dog. And I love that. And I like that same kind of respect. When I move, what I'm saying? I want people to respect me for not just a boxer, but for me, what I'm saying? For how I treat you. I treat you like I want you to treat me. Like you said, all the respect. What I'm saying? If I respect you, you respect me. So, it was amazing, man, the love, the respect everybody had for the man, you know what I'm saying? And no matter where we went, he wasn't even with us. I'll be with Tony and people just see Tony. Hey, yeah, with Jay, man. He good, Bubba. Jay this, Jay. I like, God, this dude must be the mayor.
Oh, he is.
And then, but that I didn't know him. That was my first time really meeting him. Then, I met him and he was just cool. We hung out, you know what I'm saying? We started laughing and joking, and it was a good relationship, man. He's a good brother, man.
Well, we're going to talk about it too, how he built that up, because he does a lot in the community. I was fortunate enough to be at the turkey giveaway, and I've been to the toy drive as well. So now, Winky Wright, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Mike Tyson put him to the side. It didn't work out. Also, Roy Jones Jr. So now, sir, you're jumping into the boxing game, and you got
strong.
you got killers. You not only did you pray for a champion, you got killers now. You got the top 3, right?
He had Jay, he had everybody, man. It just started coming to him. People just started, he did what he came to do. You know what I'm saying? And people just gravitated to him.
So who?
Yeah, I worked with I worked with Sugar Shane Moses, somebody that we knocked off twice.
Wow.
I worked with Diego Corrales.
Yeah, Diego, man,
you
God
know,
bless him.
Somebody that we knocked him off with Floyd Mayweather. It's an interesting story how all of that came together.
When you say knock them off, what do you mean? So
we defeated them.
Yeah.
So now, from your position, do you take it personal, and that's what you're doing? You're knocking. You got a list of fighters, and you're knocking them off. Or
Yeah, that
what's
was
the thought
business.
process?
I mean, it's business. And
Go ahead.
sometimes you have to set that up. It don't happen just by falling out the sky.
No, sir.
And you set it up strategically. For example, like Winky and Sugar Shane Mosley. That was something that me and Gary Shaw, I massaged Gary Shaw into that situation. And I told Sugar Shane Mosley at the press conference, I said, you done been set up. You know what I mean? That was back in the day when the managers had opportunity to speak. And of course, Winky bagged up everything I said to him. But, I had an opportunity to work with some of the best fighters of my era. Andre Ward, managed Andre Ward.
Yes.
The list goes on and on.
And now a very sharp and astute student of the game in Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
And we can get to the future in a minute. Let's stay in the past for a second. That's awesome. So, Jay, are you doing all the negotiation, and are you doing, or is there a team assembled? We know about Tony, and hopefully we can get Tony on the record and get him on the show next.
Mm-hmm.
But who's your team now when you're putting together the Prince Boxing promotion team? Management.
Of course, myself and my sons are working with me also. So it was good to be able to nourish them and, kind of leave something, example where the legacy is concerned. One can keep the legacy going. So, I don't have a big staff where Prince Boxing is concerned, but we get the job done.
This is your favorite athlete's favorite athlete. KTFO Boxing.
Have the Winky Wright Boxing. That sounds like You saw those zeros on that Floyd Mayweather check. Nobody ever thought a black man would see that day, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, they got it.
woo. But Jay was a part of that too, correct?
Oh yeah. Most definitely. I tell everybody, I laid that foundation. Was a major player in laying that foundation that Floyd eating off of the day. When I came into Floyd's career, he was. He had called the HBO contract a slave contract, $12 million contract. And it was far from a slave contract, and everybody was upset with him about calling it a slave contract. And, I explained to Floyd, I'm like, man, it's not slave money, $12 million. And, moving forward, when we say things like that, we're going to let it be. We ain't going to do this publicly.
Right.
We have to say that. We'll say it to their face. Just head on. And he understood that. But even more so than that, I was able to move forward and figure out how to turn that $12 million contract into a 20-some million up contract by setting up a meeting with, who was the at HBO at the time?
You talking about Ross Green?
No, it wasn't Ross. Wasn't there?
It wasn't Ross.
It was before Ross.
Was it what's his name?
Little short guy.
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
We'll think his name.
Yeah, it'll come.
But anyway, I met with him, and I straight asked him, how do we turn this thing into a bigger contract? And after I got him to get past the anger that they was feeling for the public slave contract come in, he told me, say, well, you know, if y'all would fight Diego Corrales and beat Diego Corrales, then all of this would change. We can come back to the table and do a new contract. So I done my due diligence on Diego at the time. This was before he was with me.
Yes, sir.
And Diego had just jumped on his wife and bruised her ribs, gave her a concussion, and all this kind of stuff, right? So I went back to Florida. I say, man, this dude, you know, this is the perfect time to knock this dude off. He got issues. He got trouble. I'm hearing he even doing a little drinking and stuff. You know, I had done my due diligence.
Is that important in this game to be successful?
Yeah,
Like,
for me, it was real important because I always wanted to do all I could do outside of the ring for my fighter. You know, I couldn't help him in the ring.
right.
But outside of that ring, you know, I always wanted to do all I could to make sure he wasn't getting jacked by no one. And that's what I done, you know. But Floyd didn't embrace that idea I brought back. Floyd, no, Jay, no, not right now, man. It ain't time for that. Because at that time, everybody thought Diego, he was 33-0, I think, with 30 knockouts.
Yeah, Diego was bad boy.
Yeah, so everybody thought he could beat Floyd. So I'm like, Floyd, I say, no, it's perfect timing, man. I say, we can beat him for every battered woman in the United States of America. I say, I got a marketing little idea we can tie into this, man. They're going to love it. He was like, no. I sit with him a few hours. And I couldn't convince him, so I went home. You know, we lived around the corner from one another at the time. So I went home, and that morning when I woke up, he had left me a message. He said, Jay, you know, I hired you to be my manager, man, and, you know, if you think that's what we need to do, I'm down. So it was at that point, I'm happy. I done woke up a happy man, and I reached out to HBO them to share the news that we want to fight him, and they said, we don't have anything for the rest of this year. You know, no dates and different things
Blacked
like
you out.
that. Yeah, so I come from like the hip-hop era, you know what I mean, before I came to boxing.
You created the hip hop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And it's one thing that I learned how to do, you know, playing with hip-hop was how to create opportunities and buzzes without radio, without video. I didn't have any of that. So I came up with this idea that I shared with Floyd. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to steal the press. At the press conference, we're going to steal all the fame from the situation at the press conference. I said, what we're going to do is we're going to show up at that press conference, me, you, and the homies. And the game plan is going to be for us to circle Diego. And I want you to push Diego, and we're going to stop the fight. Y'all ain't going to fight. Just push him real hard. And as he coming back to you, we're going to stop it. And from there, you know, just act like you want to whip his ass, right? So we done that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it worked because that was Saturday night. It was at a Lennox Lewis fight, and the guy from Hawaii, what's his name, the heavyweight?
Tour.
David Tour.
Yeah.
So that Sunday, we was on the front page. Sunday, Monday, we on the front page of Las Vegas time with Floyd and Diego, which gave us the momentum. By the time I called HBO them back, a date was available for us. And then, you know, the rest was history. We went to that press conference, and I told Diego, I said, we're going to whoop you for every battered woman in the United States of America. And I say, by the way, I got 2 tickets right here for your wife, Maria, and her new boyfriend. I say, and she gonna sit and witness Floyd do to you what you done to her.
Ooh.
So boy, he was red hot.
Oh.
Yeah, he was red hot.
What? No.
These some deep behind the scenes stories. You know?
There's no respect in that conversation neither. It was nothing but disrespect.
Yeah.
So Wink, how did you know you wanted to work with Jay then at that point?
Oh man, listen. So before that, you know, I never really had a manager you know, my man Jim Wilkes working with me, he watch out for me. So I really never had no manager. But, you know, when I seen Jay and I seen that, like you said, the movement, the power that he had, you know, people respected him. And, you know, in the beginning, some people, you know, in the beginning, what I heard, so I don't know, you know, what I heard, people were scared of him. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't want to let him get in there. They didn't want him to get into the boxing the way he got in.
Why?
Because the gangster, they all heard, oh, he's a gangster. He this, he that.
They said that
You know,
about
listen, no, but listen, this
okay.
what they had about
Don
him.
King. Go ahead.
Yeah, but this what they had behind. But like I said, so then Jay, you know, it was an incident in Floyd and them gym that scared everybody. Now when they already scared them,
Right.
the hip hop part of it. So
Right.
when this happened, then oh man, you get all I hear the promoters. I got all the promoters calling me, and man, Jay did it. Did this happen? I said I don't know, man. Y'all calling the wrong person. But I heard this. So next thing I know, Tony called me. Say, boy, look here, it went down. I said what? So you know, I'm gonna let him explain that part. I'm just you know just setting it up.
What went down? It might be so many. He might that.
Now that's just a thing with entourages. Sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, they get into it with their thing, and you know, before you know it, it be going down that way.
Yeah. It was some boxing in the
fire,
boxing
you know.
gym. It was some
Yeah.
boxing in the boxing gym.
Yeah. You know,
A fight
some of
broke
his
out in the
guys
boxing
got
gym.
into it
Yeah.
with my guys, but me and Floyd, you know, we was
Yeah.
talking business.
Yeah.
Got it. So Jay, what's your favorite Winky fight that comes to mind when we talk about our partner here?
A few. You know,
Okay.
I really enjoyed us destroying Sugar Shane.
Yes,
You know what I mean? 2 times back
That was
to back.
big. That was big.
A lot of people, you know, they had Shane like heavily favored
Mhm.
in that fight. They thought Shane would, you know, do his
Walk through
thing
me,
where
yeah.
Winky was concerned, but I knew different.
How'd you know?
I knew because I had studied Winky. You know, my first view of Winky was when he fought. What's the guy name on TV? You won that fight.
Oh.
But they stole that fight.
Vargas.
Vargas.
Yeah,
The Vargas
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
So when I watched that Vargas fight, you know what I mean? That's when I fell in love with Winky's boxing skills. I'm like, wow, this dude is special. He just got robbed. You know, in my eyes, that's the way I felt. And that was the beginning of me wanting to be in business with him. But, you know, after, you know, being in business with him and we knocked Sugar Shane off twice, and then the icing on the cake was the
Tito. Yeah.
Trinidad.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, you know, anybody who observed the way Winky done those guys was, you know, like a doctor on the operating table.
Yeah, man, we had a ball, man. And like I said, in the boxing game, it just wasn't the same anymore. I to me, but you know, I just love, you know, how we all came together, man. And it was, you know, it was camaraderie. It was everything, man. We all looked out for each other. We all had fun, and what I like about, you know, it was just different, you know. So now I'm gonna take y'all to some other little scenes. So now, like I say, this podcast is for to have fun, for us to just talk and chill. So
Give the flowers while we can.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
My dude deserve all that. But I'm also tell y'all, one time we was out here hanging in Vegas. me, Jay, and T. So we out here hanging out. So Jay tell me, yo, I gotta go to LA. I'm like, huh? He like, you wanna ride to LA with me? I was like, all right, forget it. Come on, it's an hour flight. We jump on the flight. We go to LA. We get to LA, so I like, who we meeting? He like, we meet Suge Knight. so back in this day, so you know, you got Death Row. Death Row was wild. Everybody know Death Row wildin', right? So we get there. So I'm just like, okay, my man, we gonna meet Suge. So we go, Jay. You know, Jay always roll the way he supposed to roll. But you know, we get to the little spot, and you know, Jay got people there, they over here, they over there, and I'm like, hold up, man, what? Man, look here, I'm gonna go sit at the bar. Let y'all
You
handle
gonna
y'all
stay out
business.
of them.
Stay out the way.
You
Let
felt
y'all
like you
handle
were
y'all
in a-
business. But you know, it was just fun, you know, just to see that kind of go down. You know what I'm saying? The Suge and them coming in, and the respect they got for them and everything, and you know, it's just amazing. You know what I'm saying? Then another story, we
Wait a minute.
hold on, okay, go ahead, let him talk about that story.
Cause wait a minute. Well, first of all, you went to the bar and you could whoop probably half the people in there.
Yeah,
But
them niggas. I mean, hey, these dudes got. You know, I knew to stay out the way.
Yeah.
I'm with the boss. I'm gonna stay out the way. I know how to play the game. You do you. I'm gonna do me. I'm over here. So it was well represented. You know what I mean?
I saw a meeting, Jay, where you were talking about you, Irv, Gotti, and Suge were going to get together and take over the country.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate on that, or you want to talk? Would you rather talk about the?
You can talk about that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm here to talk about it all.
Love it.
That particular, I forgot we went out there.
We went out there because I think one of your producers did some stuff for Suge and them, and they weren't paying them or some junk, and you went out there to let them know, hey man, get that straight. And that is also
you were doing that, Jay?
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah. I mean, that was necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It always been a mutual respect where me and Suge was concerned. You know, I know he has a reputation where he done a lot of things, but that never came my way.
No, of course.
So yeah, sometimes you have to go and do things in person and let them know, you know, this guy with me, and he can't be treated like you treat everybody else.
Jay, you were one of the first though. Like Rap-A-Lot Records was established in 1991, 90.
No, 86.
86, sorry.
87.
Yeah. You know, so you know, you're the father of all of them, especially when it comes to this music and this hip hop now. So, you know, you established the precedence long ago. You know, me being from Chicago and they won't let me live this down. First of all, my closest friend was Pink House, R.I.P. to Pink House.
Yeah, my man, Pink House.
Man.
Man.
So you can imagine me as a kid in Chicago listening to KKC, Kennedy King College, and the Geto Boys. That they broke in Chicago.
Yeah. That's true.
So,
true.
You know, your legacy, and we could talk about it, but what was more stressful, managing the athletes or managing the rappers?
Rappers,
you
man.
know.
See,
Rappers, man.
Because these athletes can be special.
Yeah.
And they're their own bosses, too, when they're boxers, because they don't have nobody else telling them what to do.
Yeah,
right?
well, here's the difference, you know, because the music and the box, both of them cutthroat businesses, right?
Yes.
But boxing is more of a cleaner lifestyle than dealing with artists. You know, the artist's going to be full of all types of, you know, telling what they made full of.
Yeah.
If you're a fighter, you know what I mean, you're going to normally be sober and trying to, you know, work out and be a more cleaner environment. So, you know, that's what you're dealing with. One on drugs and one off drugs.
Who does the most drugs? Like no.
No.
Okay. So I would ask this. So with the boxing game, was there ever a point of hitting that, like all careers have that frustration level where you'd be like, you know what? I'm not sure. You know, and I know you're not a quitter because you've been successful at everything you touch. But was there ever a point where the politics maybe or the game just made you not even want to be involved with boxing?
No, I never hit that brick wall.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think I was so conditioned, man. By the time I came out of the music game, until I was right at home when I came into boxing, and I really didn't experience how racism and different things than I experienced over there in the music world.
right.
So I was battle tested by then. So everything that, you know, I was confronted with, all the obstacles and challenges I had to deal with in boxing, you know, I'm conditioned and ready for it.
This is Go Talk. Of course, you're listening to one of the legends of boxing and music, and also unified, and of course, Hall of Fame boxer Winky Wright. Y'all make sure you check out our new open store, KTFO Boxing. You'll see that pop up on the screen, but we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Jay Prince and Winky Wright, and this is Go Talk, letting the Goats talk.
This is your favorite athlete's favorite athlete. KTFO Boxing.
KTFO Boxing, this is the first, since we have our first guest here, Mr. Gary Sheffield.
Fly ball deep to left field. Coles going back. Well, here is Gary Sheffield. And he goes after the first offering and drives it deep left field. And Gary Sheffield has his 20th home run this year.
boxing and sports memorabilia fans, are you interested in rare autographed sports items? These one-of-a-kind gloves are signed by special guests of the KTFO GOAT Talk podcast. Instead of hearing from the GOATs, you can now own the limited edition GOAT Talk boxing gloves. This auction-only boxing gloves can be found at KTFOBoxing.com. That's KTFOBoxing.com. Log on today. All auctioning items are verified by video, just like the Gary Sheffield signing. Winky White presents the KTFO Boxing Podcast. Go Talk.
Welcome back, KTFO Boxing, where you
Got knocked the fuck out.
That is CEO Jay Prince, and that is Hall of Fame boxer Winky Wright. And welcome back to KTFO Boxing. And Wink, you got a message for our subscribers real quick.
Yeah, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, the YouTube channel. Congratulations again on 1,000 subscribers and also 4,000 hours. And, of course, we'll get into the KTFOBoxing.com store. But right now we're talking with Jay Prince. And when we broke away, you know, you came in business savvy because of the music industry, and you were prepared on a different level as a businessman when you got to the boxing game. Let's talk about the hip hop game real quick. When you established Rap-A-Lot Records and you launched the Geto Boys, let's say when that first album dropped, were you 100% sure and felt that that Rap-A-Lot is like what it is still to this day? It's a legendary brand. Legendary. Did you know it would go this far and hip hop would go this far when you launched the first album, when you dropped the first album?
No, I didn't have no idea. I was really entertaining hip hop because of my brother's dream. You know what I mean? I was just doing that for him and a couple other kids that were skipping school. You know, I just wanted to be somewhat of a vessel to help them not have to be in the streets.
Right.
So that's how I gravitated to hip hop. But as time passed, I find myself getting a little deeper involved. And, you know, I always wanted to be a millionaire. You know, that was always my goal before hip hop. And, you know, as an 8, 9-year-old, I'm like, I need to be a millionaire because I have to break these poverty curses that exist in the family.
Right.
So, so after I, you know, once I really figured out that I was playing on $1 million playing field, you know, where hip hop was concerned, then I got just a little more interested and started being more hands-on.
Got it. And then, you know, the acts that you signed and that were to your label, legendary, real quickly, just to shout them out: Geto Boys, Scarface, Do or Die, UGK, of course, Pimp C and Bun B, Yuck Mouth, Big Mike, and of course your affiliation with Jazz and Drake, just to name a few.
Pimp C, Bun B.
Yeah, Bun B, Pimp C. Hold on, let me ask you this: How did you get? How did the Geto Boys come together and you get the Geto Boys?
The Geto Boys came together. I had like 2 sets of Geto Boys. And the first set of Geto Boys, you know, I pretty much just invested in their ideas, their creativity, and stuff like that.
Hold on, but the first set was, there wasn't the Geto Boys that we know. It was 3 of it. Oh, some other, okay, got it.
That was my brother.
Okay.
Jukebox and Raheem.
Okay.
Was the first set.
The first set.
And then I went to Ready Red, Johnny C, and Jukebox. And then the third set, you know, after I tried their ideas and I was losing my money, I'm like, man, this ain't gonna work. I said, I see what y'all trying to do. Now here's what I want y'all to do with my last piece of money. Make my lyrics rhyme. I said, I'm gonna write stories. Y'all just make them rhyme for me. Because y'all actually rapping about what I live.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you some real ones. Let's make them rap.
Okay.
You know, make them rhyme for me.
Yeah.
And that group of Geto Boys was like, oh man, it's too deep. You know, it's too deep, right? So I got rid of all of them. And that's when I researched Houston and came up with Willie D, Scarface, and Bushwick. He was always there anyway. So I had turned him from being somewhat of a dancer into
Bushwick was a dancer, huh?
Yeah, he was a dancer for the first set of Geto Boys.
R.I.P. to Bushwick. That's crazy. I had a midget dance.
Yeah.
Short person. I'm sorry.
There you
Little
go, man.
person.
You trying to get us canceled already?
I'm not.
Bushwick would fight you, man, if you called him a midget.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, he said, I'm a dwarf. That was a fight.
did you have any mentors to help you out in the music industry? A lot of people shout out like Clarence Avant and give him a lot of credit, or did you just have to just go alone, like innovative and just be the lone wolf?
Yeah, I learned my way around in the music industry through trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I reached out to some well-known individuals. I don't want to put them on blast.
Sure.
But they gave me information where people, you know, ran off with my money and stuff like that, the people that they referred me to. And I didn't take that well. You know, I came from a place where I know not to let people do that to me, right? So I got that straight real quick. I'm like, y'all can't do this. This ain't lawful.
Right.
And so I had to learn from trial and error, you know, and eventually, you know, I caught on as we were moving along and, you know, was able to do something different down south, you know, and I give my brother Luke Skywalker because, you know, Luke was, you know, on the playing field a little after I started, but we created a movement that was totally different from the West Coast and the East Coast guys.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys had access to like Capitol Records and RCA and, you know, all the major record labels in LA and in California and down south, Miami and Florida and Houston, Texas. Nobody wanted to embrace us. Nobody wanted to give us the opportunity. So we had to figure out how to do it on our own. And versus having a production deal that Russell Simmons and all those guys started with production deals, we, you know, crafted a blueprint where the independent thing, which was totally, we own everything, we took all the risks, and then the reward was all ours as well.
And then, of course, you know, I'm sure that there was a lot of pushback from the people behind the scenes in the music industry because you owned the masters and you were, you know, an owner, and because of your ethnicity, you know, was there any blowback, or was there, you know, more crooks come, or like as you started that journey as a record label owner, what were some of the challenges that you faced?
Oh man, racism to the fullest. You know, a lot of police harassment. You know what I mean? Just being discriminated against all
in your
the
own
time.
hometown?
Oh yeah, big time in Houston, Texas, because you have to understand, like, this wasn't known like it is today. You know, when I started this and I got like a group of brothers that's coming together to the studio or coming together going to eat or anything, they call us gangs. You know what I mean? They tried to label us as every bad name you could think of, you know, to try and, I thought, to kill our movement. You know, I really believe a lot of those individuals that was in those high places understood what was taking place and where we are right now today. You know, they saw this coming to fruition, and the powers that be, you know, tried everything they could possibly think of to stop me, even to the extent where I feel like I became a target where they tried to kill me. So, you know, as we started this off, all glory due to the Creator, because there's no doubt in my mind that He protected me, you know, through all the obstacles, harm, and danger, seen and unseen. You know what I mean? And no weapon formed against me has prospered.
That's scripture.
And that was the blueprint. That was the foundation that I shared with Master P, with Cash Money, Tony Draper. You know, that was my blueprint. And I talked about this blueprint on intros of Geto Boys albums, every album. You know, I'm talking to the street. You know, I was trying to tell the brothers, yo, this the new dope game. Y'all hustling backwards right now. Leave the dope game and come to the music game. This the new one, and it's legal. You know what I mean? So I was lighting fires because I was trying to create a major record label with amongst a lot of us in every neighborhood around the world. And you spoke about Chicago. You know, Chicago, the first city, embraced rap a lot.
You want to talk about you and George Daniels' relationship?
Oh, man, that's my brother, man.
Hey, come on now.
Yeah, with Pink and George Daniels, you know, they embraced me, man, when people in my own city wouldn't. You know, and that's why I forever be indebted and love Chicago, you know, because they understood me and embraced me before Houston did.
So, Wink, ask your friend
What?
how he met Mr. Larry Hoover.
James Prince. I did that. No, that's dope. Jay, how you meet Larry Hoover, man?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about Chicago and not talk about my
gotta
brother,
talk about him.
Larry
Boy, what?
Hoover, right?
What? Oh, you
Yeah.
made history when you put him collect call on the album on the intro.
Yeah.
Stop, Jay. Come on.
Yeah. No, I had to do that because, you know, I got the invitation to meet Mr. Hoover in the prison. And it was the first time, man, I went in prison and the inmate that was in prison, which was Larry Hoover, was cleaner than me. He had gaiters on. He had this, what you call the name of that shirt he had on, man? He was just clean.
Not a Coogee.
Coogee sweater, corduroy pants. Oh, man, clean and looking good, man. I'm like, man, I look like the inmate. You know what I mean? But it was the conversation that I had with this brother, man, that, you know, opened my eyes to a whole nother level in life. You know, this brother, the wisdom that he possessed and the knowledge of what he had, you know, that he had concerning, like, my music and everything. You know, he and I had opportunity to walk around the unit. And by the time, you know, we made it back full circle, I had a different level of respect for him. And it was then that it was going through my head then that I wanted the world to hear what I was hearing. And that's how the whole idea came about me putting him on that intro with me. And I got all kinds of threats. And, I mean, all the 3-letter people was calling saying, don't do this. Lawsuits, you know, no, they didn't want him to be heard, and they came up with all these
nonsense.
Yeah, different things to try and intimidate me to not put it on there. But, you know, as we know, I put it on there. And I think it was eye-opening for everyone who had opportunity to hear what he had to say.
Shot that went around the world. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if the folks don't know, George Daniel, black record store owner, George's Music Room in Chicago, several locations, and the first to be in the airport ever. So now, I met George down in Houston, so I kind of know the backstory. So explain how you and George met and the relationship that you have with George.
You know, it was hard to miss George being in the music industry.
Right.
You know, that was Black Power throughout Chicago where your music was being sold, and he embraced us, you know, and George shared a lot of wisdom with me to help me, you know, sell more records and different things like that. You know, George he was before his time, you know what I mean? His entrepreneurship was like a Walmart that's going on, you know, right now, and this was way in the 80s. He was moving like that with his record store, so I always had the utmost respect for George and his wife, you know, because they were a unit that worked
together,
complemented one another. Yeah.
That's amazing. Listen, we're going to take another break. This is KTFO Boxing. You're listening to, of course, the man that knows the science and the art of respect, but is the founder of Rap-A-Lot Records and also boxing aficionado, and that's Winky Wright. We'll be right back in 2 seconds.
This is your favorite athlete's favorite athlete. KTFO Boxing.
Have the Winky Wright Boxing. Do I sound like a... KTFO Boxing. This is GOAT Talk. That is Winky Wright, what KTFO stands for.
You got knocked the fuck out.
That is Mr. James Prince in our presence, Rap-A-Lot CEO, also boxing aficionado. So, Wink, I know that, people come up to you all the time wanting to talk fighting. All the time.
All the time.
And you don't really particularly, you'll entertain it.
For a second.
Right? But now this is different now because now you have one of the GOATs in boxing.
That's right.
Manager, also. Did you do promotion too, Joe?
No, his homeboy, his tag team. They're a tag team on your ass.
In boxing, you can't be a promoter and a
boxer.
And a manager.
You have to choose one.
Right. And
I chose management because I always wanted to be on the side of the fighter. I wanted to stop. Before I got into boxing, I heard about the robbery that took place where a lot of the promoters was concerned. And my motivation was, I'm going to stop this where the fighters are. That's how I make my money.
Right.
So I'm going to protect my fighters, and we're going to break this curse that's been going on where a lot of managers is bought and paid for and do whatever the promoter say.
Yes,
I want to be one to stop that.
Right.
They respect my dog. Let me ask you this. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, but also, the loyalty wine, talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You jumping off in the wine too, Jay?
Man.
I'm diversifying my portfolio,
man.
Now, here's a man that I didn't have a drink all the way up until I got in my late 40s. But I was observing this guy by the name of Doctor. Used to come on, I think, 5 o'clock in Houston every day, Dr. Red Duke. And Dr. Red Duke, one evening I was watching him and he was complimenting red wine, the antioxidants and different things that's good where red wine is concerned, how it's good for your heart, for your blood. And I'm like, wow, okay, well, maybe I'll start sipping on a little red wine. And I did, and I was able to take a trip out to, where is that winery at? In California.
Oh, Napa Valley?
Napa Valley. And for the first time, I had an opportunity to look at some vineyards and kind of talk to a guy on the business side of the vineyards. And, with all of that intertwining together, I'm like, yeah, let me try me a red wine blend. And it's called Loyalty.
Love it.
That's good, man. And then, I want to bring up also, like you said, about the what you call it, the compound, or not the compound is where Rap-A-Lot Records at. Oh, let me explain this one more time. Hold on. So I go to Houston real quick. I go to Houston. So we go to Rap-A-Lot, right? So it's
the studio or the compound?
It's the
There's
compound.
many
I go to the
entities
compound.
to
I go to the
Rap-A-Lot,
compound.
right.
I go to the compound.
Okay. All right.
So we get there. So it's a gate around it. So we got dudes hanging out. So we pull up like cool. So the gate rolled back. It's like the music started playing. The gate. Next thing you know, it just opened up like, man. This man got about 40 cars under this building. It may be more than that. So I'm looking. I'm like, what the hell? They got a car lot. Man, this man got 2 of everything under there. 2 Bentleys, 2 of this, 2 of that, 2 Ferraris, 8 limos. So I'm like, God damn, what this dude doing? So this, this is my first time coming. Like,
what year is this?
When I first got with him. So they brought me. I can't remember. I got hit in the head too much. But listen.
But he had all of that.
He had all that.
He had all
that's
that
what I'm trying to say. How he had, he was just rolling, man. I'm just like, this dude, crazy. Man, this dude. So I tell Tony, Tony, when y'all meet Tony, y'all gonna see why we call him a fool, because this dude ain't got no sense, man. He the joker of the bunch. I love the joke, you know what I'm saying? But this dude is so crazy. But so we go in there, so man, I see all these cars. I'm like, what in the world? I'm like, this dude got to pay the most insurance I ever seen somebody pay. Dog, he got about 40, 50 cars.
You counting up his pockets, man? What are you doing?
It was just the point. It was just amazing to see a young brother like this just doing it like this. And then they mess around and take me to a ranch, right? So I'm like, ranch? That's not for us. You know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell?
Man, they got horses out there.
They got cows, horses, everything.
Real cowboy ranch.
Well, look here. I said, man, this dude. So it's just, different for me because I grew up in Washington, D.C. So first of all, not saying nothing about nobody. When I grew up 100% black. You know,
Concrete jungle.
Listen, I went to elementary school, all blacks. I went to middle school, all blacks. I went to high school, all blacks. I didn't go to school with a white teacher, none of that. No white teachers, no nothing. It was just all black. It was just crazy, right? So
Why is that crazy?
Because I didn't know. No, I thought that was normal. I thought that was normal, right? So now I moved.
DC.
I moved from there to Florida.
Right.
Now I get to Florida. I'm in classes with Asians. I'm in class with whites, and so it was cool. It was just a shock to me. So then when you see, you know, Jay, when I got to see Jay and just see how this dude was moving, it was just amazing. Say like, Lord, this dude doing it, man, and the respect everybody gave him. You know what I'm saying? And it was just incredible. But like I said, he had the compound. He got the ranch. Then, you know, they tell me he got island. I said, oh man, this man just doing it, man. He just balling to a limit, man. So tell us about the island, man. Tell us about Belize.
Oh, Belize.
Wait a minute, we're not gonna talk about the compound first?
Oh yeah,
though?
you could do it.
Well, go ahead, talk about because you know
Belize, the island.
the
is
island
different. I ain't
outside
been
of
to the island.
Belize.
I ain't got invited to the island yet. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? Yeah.
Everybody been out there. Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I know. He just kicked me to the curb.
Michael,
It's
everybody,
all
you
good.
have a lot of guests out there.
Yeah, but
all the celebrities.
Winky Wright ain't been out there yet. This is a problem.
Get your weight up.
Well, I'm gonna extend that invitation to Winky Wright.
Can I come with him, Jay?
Yeah,
There
for
you
sure, for sure. But he mentioned that compound. That compound is Rap-A-Lot, really. That's a place that, you know, during our movement back in the day, we got, as I told y'all, we was being discriminated against. So every building that we would rent out, we got kicked out of it for some reason. You know, they were like, oh, guys not dressed properly coming around here. It was always something.
Excuse.
So I ended up buying my own building, and I named it the compound, and that gave us control 24/7, and we didn't have nobody to be able to tell us, oh, you could come and go. We put an end to that. So that's a special place.
I heard there used to be screams coming out of there late at night.
Screams.
People leaving out in the trunk. I'm just messing with you.
It ain't no telling what you might
What
hear.
you heard over there?
Yeah, you know,
It was self-control. You owned it, and it was your property.
Yeah.
So that's
so
for
they
sure.
were my screams if it was.
No, I don't think you know how to scream, Jay.
But that was big. You know, my man bought his own building. You know, at that time, you know, a lot of people weren't doing that kind of stuff, wasn't thinking like that. So, you know, it's
Acres.
amazing. You know,
Acres of land. That's what we have to do as far as, you know, if you're going to own anything. But
Yeah.
so what made you decide to buy an island? You just, you know, the deal came up. Somebody called hey, I got a good deal on that island you've been asking about.
No, it's bigger than that. I always been a guy that was attracted to serenity spots.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I like
Peaceful
land.
at the water?
Yeah, I love water. I love land. I love places that I don't have neighbors close to me. You know, I like to be able to walk around naked and shoot my guns, and it won't be a problem.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So I had accomplished every material goal that I had set out, except that island. You know, and that was one of my last goals that I accomplished. And it's a different level of serenity to be on a piece of land surrounded by water. And I never saw darkness like you witnessed. I never saw stars shine so bright. So it's a whole different level of serenity, you know, having an island.
Was it
Personally.
like dark? You know, like if all us
dark,
stand
dark?
together, you know, if we got a few black brothers, we stand together, and then somebody open their eyes, and that's all you see.
Yeah. You won't be able to see the eyes.
This show just went
Yeah.
totally racist.
You know, I just you're having fun, man. We gotta have fun with my dog, man.
So, Jay, the kids, all of them rock stars. You know, you got one that owns a cookie store, right? You got one that's taking over Rap-A-Lot and overseeing that, signing artists like, you know, EXO, and shout out to all the Rap-A-Lot artists. But Jazz, truly special, found Drake.
Yeah, all of them are special.
All of them are special.
Yeah.
All of them are special.
But Jazz has done something amazing, you know, where discovering Drake. You know, Drake is definitely one of the biggest and the best hit maker I ever witnessed in the industry as far as writing hit songs consistently over the time that he has done. I never witnessed anything like that in the music game. So Yeah, definitely. He hit a home run with him.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that's my son too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might as well.
yeah.
Yeah. Because his performances are second to none. Great art, hit after hit, undeniably. Let me ask you this: do you rank him over Jay-Z? Because that's all when you talk the greatest of all time.
Yeah, well,
Drake's got to be in there.
Most definitely, Jay-Z hit making skills can't compete with Drake's.
No.
I mean, it's written.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing I'm making up.
No.
It's just
Billboard shows it if you go off the chart.
Yeah. So if you compare the two, in that era, then it's Drake hands down. If you go to another page or whatnot, then you can't knock Jay-Z. He is shine. He don't write lyrics down. You know what I mean? I don't know if Drake write his lyrics down or not, but Jay-Z got this brain and this mind. He just off the top.
It's flow, huh?
Yeah. So that's a skill within itself.
Absolutely. So now, when you talk about Drake and you talk about Houston, his love for Houston is second to none. The November 17th, I've been down there. When he comes down there, it's just like a movement, right? But your movement is extra special too. Like when I first met Jay, when we went from place to place, police security, you walk like Michael Jackson, Jay.
Is that right?
Man,
Is that right?
like you walk like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson walks like you.
Is that right?
Police security.
Oh, you're talking about the surrounding.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a movement. I move like him.
Yeah.
Now to walk like him.
No.
No.
You ain't moonwalking. You ain't moonwalking, man. Go ahead, man.
This is your favorite athlete's favorite athlete. KTFO Boxing.
KTFO Boxing. This is the first, since we have our first guest here, Mr. Gary Sheffield.
Fly ball deep to left field. Coles going back. Well, here is Gary Sheffield. And he goes after the first offering and drives it deep left field. And Gary Sheffield has his 20th home run this year.
Boxing and sports memorabilia fans, are you interested in rare autographed sports items? These one-of-a-kind gloves are signed by special guests of the KTFO GO Talk podcast. Instead of hearing from the GOATs, you can now own the limited edition GO Talk boxing gloves. This auction-only boxing gloves can be found at KTFOBoxing.com. That's KTFOBoxing.com. Log on today. All auctioning items are verified by video, just like the Gary Sheffield signing. Winky White presents the KTFO Boxing Podcast. Go Talk.
Like, man, I can't even, of course it's hard work, and of course it's your passion for success, and it's the respect that you've garnered. But like, how does it feel to be you? Like, I don't know how to, cause
Feel good, man. Feel good.
yeah.
Yeah, hip hop is a dangerous business, whether we want to admit to that or not.
Still, you think
Yeah,
still?
yeah, most of them. You hear about all these rappers dying.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's at an all-time high.
Okay.
And you have to move a certain way if you plan on, if your goal is to make it home every day. So, I respect Michael Jackson's movement. A lot of people, he had a lot of fans, so he had to protect himself and make sure he made it home to his family. And I feel like my life is just as important as Michael Jackson. So I'm always, when I leave my house in the daytime, I plan on coming back home to my family. And I understand, like, being in the hip-hop, a lot of environments that, I had to go to and I had to place myself in. And I wish today that a lot of these artists would put more value on their ass than they do. I witness a lot of them throw so much money away and leave that very spot where hijackers and, in strip clubs, the worst of the worst go to these places, right? You have to understand that all the hijackers, the robbers, they going to see them strippers at night.
Nothing good happens after 12 a.m.
But they also come to see you too.
Who
You
throwing
know,
that
if
money?
you
huh?
shine and looking too well. So you have to like prepare for all of this. So I wish these guys would start like putting a little more protection on their ass so they can make it home.
Yeah, I don't go to the strip club, so I wouldn't know.
Really?
Yeah, I ain't never been.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Got you. Jay, you said something key about depreciation assets and wasting money in a strip club. What, like, if you wanted to give, because I'd rather, if I'm getting in the music industry, I'm not trying to be Little Dirk, no disrespect. I'm not trying to be a manager. I'm trying to be you, right? So, what advice would you give the next person that wants to be the next Jay Prince? Like these kids are capping,
Yeah.
very violent now. Are they sticking to the code? Let me ask you that first. Like, yeah, are they sticking to the code or no?
You know everybody not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's that's not as famous today as it was back in our era. But the advice, if I had to give any, would everybody want your glory, but nobody wants your story. So before anybody could want what I've accomplished, I would advise them to read my story.
Pick
You know
up
what I
the
mean?
book.
Yeah, know what I actually had to go through, to get where I'm at. And most of all, you got to be willing to do today what others won't do, so you can do tomorrow what others can't do. And a lot of people ain't,
Say
they
that
willing
again.
to do
Tell them that one more time. Dog. Tell them that
You
one
got
more
to be
time.
willing to do today what others won't do, so you can do tomorrow what others can't do.
That's right.
So for boxing, for example, if you running 2 miles, the whole team running 2 miles, run 4.
Mm-hmm.
Always be willing to put that extra in so you can
Stand out.
Yeah,
There you go.
you be equipped to stand out. Everybody want to stand out, but when it comes to that extra
That
2
work.
miles or whatnot, now I want to be normal.
Yeah.
All right, well, you're going to be average. You're going to be normal.
Right. The name of the book again, if you've been under the rock or you just haven't been paying attention last year, especially, it's The Art and Science of Respect. What made you decide to write a book at this point now?
I felt like it was time. The timing was perfect. My spirit led me to do it because I never, I used to enjoy like being behind the scene under the radar, but I think time has come to full fruition where, I didn't want to leave knowing what I know and not sharing it. I probably could save a life if it's just one. So, I was led to write it.
Yeah. And it a good read it was too. And congratulations too, by the way, keeping up with everything. The DEA agent that was investigating you and harassing you now put behind bars, correct?
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
Right.
And I put the spotlight on this guy over a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he had that much longer to destroy lives, even though I had put him on notice over, 15 years ago. They finally caught up with him doing the very same thing that I put him, he was trying to do to me.
He was planting evidence on you and building up a fake case, to give the short version.
Well, I think he was trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a hitman they put on me. This guy had killed over 7 people, 8 people. This is documented. This is a age of Schumacher. He actually used his weapon that many times and pulled me over in the dark. So you can imagine, what he had in mind for me. I had received a lot of threats from these guys on what they was gonna do, and of course, when I moved, I was ready because one thing you can do in America is protect yourself,
Especially in Texas.
Yeah. So, I was ready for all that smoke.
Uh-oh.
But, these guys, man, I've been dealing with being racially profiled and different attacks from these people. I don't know what life is like without being attacked by them. I've never been able to, like, have a successful life without them being the enemy some kind of way. So I'm somewhat immune to it, but you know, all I could do is tell my story and hope that others, you know, that have to deal with these kind of situations can learn from it and defend themselves and different things like that, because most that they target, you know, they destroy them.
You're gonna get involved in. Wink wanted me to ask you this question. I wrote it down. You gonna get involved with it and be the, I guess the, what's the word? Negotiator, mediator for any more rap beefs in the future.
So
Yeah, you know, because the Pusha T and the Kanye West, and then, you know, with Drake, that kind of got that. Was it blown out of proportion or just media play?
I mean, it wasn't blown out of proportion. It was what it was.
Yeah.
But I definitely was glad that, you know, I was able to come in and stop it from going any further, because, you know, in retrospect, when we sit back and like look at Tupac and Biggie and nobody done nothing, stepped in, and, you know, two great people, they not here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would never say that I wouldn't try and speak and bring about peace, you know, where foolishness is concerned. I actually have a certain thing on my radar that I'm gonna start working on soon. So
it was like when you first started doing it. What was the first beef you stopped in the hip hop? Was it Lil Flip and T.I.?
And I heard that could have been boxing. Was that? I heard T.I. wanted the box flip. Come on, tell the story, Jay. Come on.
Yeah, well, you know, I say this much because I'm under oath where that's concerned, and and they under oath. You know what I mean? There's certain things went on in that meeting that we can't speak on.
Yeah.
But it definitely was a situation that I was able to mediate, and we all left out of the room in agreement to not, for them not to, you know, do foolishness and be trying to hurt each other.
Yeah. So, how did you discover Shakur?
Oh, Shakur.
We're gonna get back to the boxing. We need to wrap.
Yeah, no. With Shakur, you know, me, you know, Andre Ward, Tony Leonard, Josh Dubin, all of us was like monitoring him in the amateurs. You know, that's what we do. We're students of the game, so we're always looking at fighters, amateur fighters, and the standout ones, the elite ones.
Right.
Because I don't like going in that ring knowing I'm gonna lose. You know what I mean? So I don't. That's where I draw the line. I won't manage anybody. You have to show me that you have a certain work ethic, you have a certain gift, and, you know, a certain hunger and heart, or I don't want to go in the ring with you, because I like to win. You know what I mean? And that's just me. You got some managers that'll manage anything
just to get a check.
Yeah, I'm not one of them. I ain't gonna never start being one of them. And Shakur happened to be an elite standout amateur. That's how he won a silver medal. And as you can see, you know, he has a big fight coming up tomorrow night here in Las Vegas, and victory is gonna follow him a long time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
hold on, let me ask you about the other little fighters y'all got too. You know,
little fighters.
You know, other up and coming fighters like Lil Keyshawn, the rest of that whole little crew.
Yeah, Keyshawn not with us. Yeah, we have Abdul Mason.
Okay,
that's in that same weight division.
Okay,
and we signed him at 17. I went to see him in New Orleans at one of the shows, and man, he destroyed everything in the building. You know what I mean? And I thought my eyes was playing tricks on me, so I got Shakur to watch him. I think around the third bout or something, and Shakur went to yelling and said, "Man, he the truth." Yeah. So really look out for this kid, Abdullah Mason, man. He's something special. Yeah,
future, baby, future. Well, listen, man. We ain't gonna be here all day. We ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of stuff going on.
Was my mind playing tricks on you about you? Was that whole?
Well, definitely, definitely a lot of it.
Okay.
And since this boxing, I better mention Troy. His fighting tomorrow. Troy Isley. You know what I mean? We got Floyd Diaz. You know, it's so many fighters we have. What's some of them other names? See, I don't want to leave nobody out. Oh, yeah, definitely Tony Yoka. All of them going to be in the bid. Jared Anderson, future heavyweight. champion of the world, Big Baby, is real special, man. Keep your eyes open. That's who got Tyson Fury ready for Deontay Wilder on both fights. And when I tell you, Wink, he holds his own in there with him.
Man, I heard.
He's special,
Tony told me here.
It kind of remind me of when you remember we brought Andre Ward in there and you and Andre sparred.
Yeah, Andre.
Yeah.
I like Andre was nice, man.
It was a competitive sparring.
It was, man. I like when he was young. I was like, Shorty gonna be nice, man.
Winky around the third round, Winky told me that boy gonna be champion.
Yeah, Shorty gonna be nice, man. I seen it. Shorty, Dre, good dude, man.
He could defend the jab and everything.
Yeah, he can fight. He was slick, smart. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of them wasn't. He was smart.
Yeah.
Jay, we can't keep you, but there's.
I know we could be here. I know we could be here all
your legacy commands way more time.
Yeah, no, I appreciate y'all having me, man.
I appreciate you coming out, dog. I really appreciate you, blessing us like this, my man. And you know what I'm saying? We want nothing but the best for you. Keep doing what you're doing, man. And you're doing a lot. There's a lot of people that look up to you, not just for boxing, not just for the music, but just on the way you carry yourself, man.
The philanthropy work.
Keep doing
crazy.
what you're doing, man, and inspiring everybody. And like I say, just keep Tony out of trouble and we'll be good.
Yeah.
And I mean it when I say it. The give back is also that moved me and showed me a lot. Without even after I met you, it was already an honor as a fan in the music and in boxing. But then to see, being at the turkey drives, being at the Christmas giveaways, and being at the come together days, like you definitely always give back, and especially to the area that you came up in. So if you wanted to have some parting words, and if you wanted your legacy to be left out your, we always say go straight to the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
What can they say about a man like Jay Prince when you're talking about Jay Prince?
Respect. I gave it, and in return I demanded it. And with that being said, I like to, end this by saying to Winky how I respect Winky. He done what he had to do in the ring, but outside the ring, I witnessed a man provide for his family, raise his kids that was there. You know what I mean? And that's important because a lot of males, you can't call them men, you know what I mean, don't own the responsibility of where their families are concerned. Mm-hmm. But I witnessed this man love on his family all the way. You know what I mean? The sun and the rain. And that need to be honored and saluted.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Well, I wanted to end it on you, but you ended it on him.
My dog.
Hey,
man.
Thank you so much. Congratulations again, and continued success to you. This is KTFO Boxing GO.A.T Talk, letting the GOATs talk. You are clearly a GOAT in this business.
That's
in two
right.
businesses, a sport and in entertainment.
And in life.
So with that being said, you have heard it. You just got knocked the
fuck out
by Jay Prince.
And we out.
All good.
Most likely to succeed.